My fiancé had his bachelor party last weekend and tried to have one last bit of freedom without me knowing. Now he's being charged with trying to grape his best friend. My 28-year-old fiancé Alex has had a best friend, Danny, since they were both 4. Danny is 28 and has always been a solid, dependable friend to Alex, as well as to their 2 other close friends, Marcus and Daniel. The 4 of them are incredibly tight-knit, almost like siblings. Danny is a wonderful person, kind, sweet, and has always respected boundaries. She's a bit different from what you might expect from a typical BFF, though. She's gay, but very much a woman, even though she prefers dressing in jeans and t-shirts rather than anything particularly feminine. She's tall, lean, with short hair, and often blends in as just one of the guys. It's all very platonic, with no crossed lines. This weekend was supposed to be all about Alex's bachelor party, a trip that included the 4 of them plus 2 other friends of Alex's. They went to a coastal town famous for hosting bachelor parties. It wasn't anything wild, though, no adult clubs or anything like that. They rented an Airbnb and had a whole itinerary planned, including scuba diving and kayaking. The first night went pretty smoothly. They had a nice dinner at a local restaurant, hit a nightclub, and then headed back to the Airbnb. Things took a turn the next night. After the nightclub, the group headed back to the house, and that's when things started to get weird. Marcus and Daniel, who are both single, decided to bring back 2 girls from the club, and the vibe shifted. They retreated to their bedrooms, and the rest of us were left in the living room, still drinking and talking. As the night went on, things got louder, and Marcus and Daniel started complaining about how they didn't get to visit an adult club and never got to see any hot bodies. They were making crude jokes and calling their wives names in frustration. Danny, understandably, told them to calm down because it was ruining the mood for everyone else. But instead of listening, Marcus and Daniel thought it would be hilarious to see Danny exposed as some kind of twisted compensation for their complaints. To everyone's shock, Alex joined in with them, and they forcibly started removing Danny's clothes. Danny was screaming, and it was only when Marcus and Daniel heard the commotion that they rushed in to stop it. They immediately took Danny to a bedroom with the girls for safety, while things escalated into a heated confrontation with the 3 men. Daniel doesn't drink because of a chronic medical condition and the medication he takes for it, so after everything went down, they decided to pack up and leave. They took Danny and the 2 girls with them, leaving the other 3 behind. Danny was hysterical, understandably shaken by what happened. Marcus suggested that she should go to the police, but Danny refused. She was too scared, too afraid to even go back home. So, Marcus and Daniel ended up dropping the girls off and drove Danny all the way to her parents' house, which was about an hour away. This morning, Marcus showed up at my door at 7 a.m. and told me everything. He said that if he ever sees Alex again, he's not sure what might happen. He also mentioned that if he can get Danny to press charges, he will. After he left, Alex returned around 3 p.m., acting like everything was normal. But when I told him Marcus had been over, he immediately got nervous and tried to downplay it, calling it all a joke that just went too far. I was devastated. I listened, but he could tell I wasn't buying his excuse. When I told him Danny might be going to the police, his face went pale, and he panicked. He said she blocked him, and that he wanted to go talk to her. I told him she wasn't at her place because she was too scared for him or his friends to show up there. I told him to leave, and though he didn't want to, I insisted. He was crying, saying it was just a prank that spiraled out of control. I only let him speak to me out of respect for the 2 years we had together. But after everything, I can't do this anymore. I don't even recognize the person he's become. I'm unsure if I should reach out to Danny or just leave it all alone. Marcus and I have been in constant contact, and he agrees that I have no choice but to end things. I don't even know where to begin with canceling everything. The wedding is in 5 weeks, but honestly, that feels insignificant compared to what Danny is dealing with right now. Marcus is convinced that after talking to her parents, Danny will go to the police, and I think Alex is in serious trouble. I can't support him in this. Maybe I'm wrong, and he was drunk or under the influence of something else, but this was his best friend since they were 4 years old, and he did this to her. I haven't blocked Alex, but I haven't replied to or picked up any of his calls. Update. 1 day later. It's been an awful day. I can't bring myself to reach out to my friends yet because I still feel ashamed. I did talk to my parents and my brother though, and they've been amazing. When my brother came over today, he brought a friend with him. The 2 of them packed up all of Alex's things and took everything to his parents' house. Alex was there and just asked if this meant I was done with him. My brother didn't hold back. He said yes, asking if Alex really expected any other response. Alex's dad tried to step in, telling my brother to let it go, but he also told my brother to have me contact him about canceling the wedding. That's not happening. I won't be contacting his father, ever. My parents are handling the wedding cancellations, and my dad even got in touch with my cousin, who's a lawyer, to help guide me if needed. There's still a lot I need to untangle, like leases, bank accounts, savings, and other financial matters. But my brother made sure I transferred all of my money from the joint accounts into my own account, so that's one thing off my mind. It's a mess, though. I tried calling Danny, but she's not ready to talk to anyone yet, so I just texted her to let her know that I'm here for her and that I've broken up with Alex. She hasn't replied, and honestly, I don't expect her to right now. She's apparently in a really bad place. Daniel spent 3 hours with me today. There's so much going on, but I'm hesitant to say too much, afraid it might hurt any potential court case. I can tell you there are 2 videos of the incident. One was taken by Jeb, one of the 2 friends. It's mostly chaotic, but the last part is apparently clear and revealing. The owners of the rental house are also involved, and they have footage too, but I can't go into more detail. After Marcus left me, he went to both of the guys' wives and told them everything. Jeb's wife has been incredibly supportive and has left him. The other guy's wife has also left him. Things are moving in the direction most of you would expect. That's all I'm saying for now. And to add, things were worse than what Marcus originally told me. Daniel shared some details that made everything even more unsettling. Before Danny found her own style, she had long hair, dressed femininely, and was absolutely stunning. Apparently, all three of them, Alex, Marcus, and Daniel, were in love with her when they were teens. Alex took her rejection really hard, and according to Daniel, he was angry and bitter for a couple of years, though he hid it from Danny. They thought he had gotten over it, but now Daniel feels that this might have been about revenge. That thought is terrifying if it's true. I've been getting hundreds of texts from Alex. He told me his father advised him to stop texting me, but he says he just can't. I haven't blocked him or replied, following the advice I've received. This whole thing is really hard, and I honestly don't know how it's going to end. Second update, 3 days later. I got a call from Danny. Daniel has been by my side the whole time, and I'm guessing he knew Danny was going to reach out. There's a lot more to the story than I even knew. The first night was fine, as I mentioned, but on Saturday, Alex, Jeb, and their friend decided not to join Danny, Daniel, and Marcus for scuba diving. Danny was feeling incredibly hungover and gave up after an hour, heading back to the Airbnb. She walked into the living room to find all three guys engaged in intimate acts with two women. Jeb shouted at her to get out, saying it was costing them a fortune, and the women were paid professionals. She left and went back to the boat, only telling Marcus what she had seen when they all returned. Later, Alex told Danny not to tell me, claiming it was just his last bit of freedom. Danny was disgusted and reminded him that he wasn't free. She also told him she needed time to think about what to do. Marcus convinced her to stay another night because he and Daniel had met the two girls the night before and planned to see them again. If Danny wanted to leave, Daniel would have to take her since he was her ride, and there was no public transport in the small town. So, Alex cheated, just like the other two. Marcus told their wives about it that morning, but not me. He planned to tell me in stages, because he knew I was already in shock. The actual assault was worse than what Marcus had initially shared. While Alex hadn't physically assaulted Danny beyond pulling off her clothes, unlike the other two, he just stood by and watched, doing nothing to stop it. Danny mentioned she thought Alex might have taken some mushrooms earlier, but she wasn't sure. Marcus and Daniel did rescue her, but by then, things had already escalated. As soon as she got to her parents' place, she went straight to the police. The Airbnb owners, after seeing the footage, also acted independently. Now, all three men are facing the consequences of their actions. Danny told me she was sorry she didn't tell me right away, as she had wanted to, but she's still very shaken up. I didn't want to make things harder for her, and I don't think I'm needed for any legal proceedings. So, I finally blocked Alex and his parents. The wedding is off, and I'm starting the long process of untangling myself from Alex financially, including bank accounts and other matters. Here's where I'm struggling. I'm really angry at Marcus. It feels like he didn't care about me at all. He stopped Danny from telling me so he could continue shacking up with a girl he met. Apparently, now he feels guilty because, if they had left, Danny wouldn't have been attacked. He didn't even give me the courtesy of telling me that Alex cheated that morning, like he did with the other two wives. It's not like he was protecting my feelings. After all, my ex assaulting another woman was one of the hardest things I've ever had to hear. He also didn't tell me the full extent of the attack. Danny is still unsure if Alex wasn't just waiting his turn or if he was only there to watch. I should have been told that immediately, not by Danny, because that conversation was incredibly hard for her to have. Daniel didn't know about the paid professionals at all, and he didn't realize that Marcus hadn't shared the full story of what they saw when they burst in. Daniel has been my rock, and I really need some perspective right now. Is it okay to be angry at Marcus, or is that misplaced anger? I'm definitely angry at Alex, and that's all I feel toward him. Can anyone offer a different perspective that I might be missing? Marcus and I have stayed in constant contact, mostly through messages and occasional calls. Since he's already back at work, he even visited last night, but I didn't open the door for him. Daniel keeps saying that whatever I feel right now is okay, but I think he's just trying to placate me. I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't have to have any more contact with Alex, and I think the case will move forward without me. I'm considering telling Daniel that I need a break from him, Marcus, and that whole group of friends. Danny and I have agreed to stay in touch, but I don't see us being very close. My best friend, whom I finally confided in, thinks I should step away from them all for good and focus on moving forward. My parents agree and believe it's necessary for my healing. My brother, however, thinks Daniel has been nothing but great and that I shouldn't cut him off. But it feels like the whole group comes as a package deal without Alex now, so it seems like it's either all or nothing. What should I do? I don't want to be ungrateful, but a clean break feels right. Third update, 11 days later. I've been putting off writing this update, but I'm back because I need even more advice and an outside perspective. The comments have been pretty helpful so far, so thank you. I'll do my best to make this brief. First of all, Danny and I have really bonded. She and I talk every day and message constantly. I didn't expect that, but it's truly wonderful. She says she needs a good friend right now, and honestly, she's a great person. Despite everything she's been through, she's been such a huge support to me. I told Danny I posted here because I felt guilty. To tell my story, I had to tell hers, and I didn't want to betray her trust, but she was okay with it. She's actually thinking of waiving her right to anonymity when the trial comes. as she wants everyone to know she was assaulted by him. Danny has quit her job, moved in with her parents full-time, and is in therapy. She's just about surviving right now. Not exactly living, but she's incredibly strong. The progress is slow, but she's making it through. As for the legal process, justice here moves at a crawl, so there isn't much to update on that front. Marcus was told he wouldn't face assault charges for attacking the two people who were actively assaulting Danny. I went back to work, and it was terrible. I work for a small startup, and Oscar, who works there, is friends with Marcus and my brother. We all train in martial arts at the same dojo, so I'm getting a lot of pity. Sympathy or empathy I would have been okay with, but pity feels awful. Still, it's better than being home all day doing nothing. Daniel gave me the space I asked for, and he's truly a good guy. There's nothing romantic between us at all. I'm not in a fit state for anything like that, and won't be for a very, very long time. He's just a good person. No ulterior motives. We text a bit, and he's in constant contact with Danny. I got a letter from Alex. He said he'd been holding out hope, figuring I hadn't blocked him yet. But once I did, he was distraught. He told me he didn't want to freak me out by showing up in person, and I know that wouldn't look good for him anyway, but he just wanted to tell his side of the story. He said he was pressured into doing stuff with paid professionals, and that he only went as far as getting oral sex. The other two were pressuring him to do more, but he didn't, and he regrets even doing that. He admits he was angry at Danny because she told him either he tells me about the cheating, or she would. He says he knew he was totally in the wrong. He knew I would leave him for cheating, so he took whatever he could get his hands on. He's not even sure what he grabbed, and while he remembers pulling off Danny's shoes, he claims not to remember anything else. So, in his eyes, he was just peer-pressured, drunk, and high out of his mind, and didn't do anything wrong at all. I was absolutely disgusted reading that. His total lack of accountability is just sickening. I'm not responding to him, ever. Any future messages from him go straight into the trash. I'm in therapy, but it's still early days, and I'm not seeing progress yet. That leaves me with Marcus. He knows I'm angry with him, and he's desperate to talk things through. I probably feel more anger toward him than I should, but I find it hard not to. He's still feeling really guilty about making Danny stay, and I just don't understand why I feel this way toward him. It's not the same level of anger I feel toward Alex, but I'm still hesitant to talk to him. I think he made mistakes, but in my heart, I know he was dealing with a lot that morning. Still, I just feel like I wouldn't have been in that situation when Alex came home if I had known the truth. I feel like Marcus should have told me everything, especially since I was the one who had to face Alex alone. I know I should hear him out, but I'm finding it incredibly hard. How can I get past this? I want to clear the air with him, even if we're never friends again. I know cutting him out is affecting him badly. I know he rescued Danny and has been constantly checking in on her. I also know he can be a good guy, but part of me feels like he wasn't all good that weekend. I don't know. I haven't really brought this up in therapy yet, since we're just starting, and focusing mostly on Alex. I need advice on how to handle this. I wanted to give it some time, but Marcus's mental health isn't great, and I wonder if by not meeting him, I'm just making things worse for him. How can I find it in me to just bite the bullet and hear him out? Why am I so angry with him? How can I move past this? I don't want to be angry with him anymore. I'm so exhausted from being angry at both him and Alex. I really wanted to stop being angry, at least towards Marcus, but it won't go away. I'm visiting Danny for the weekend that should have been my wedding. We're going to have a Lord of the Rings marathon, and her mom is making cheesecake. My family has been amazing in every way, but Danny is truly the reason I'm still standing. Edit. I forgot to mention, it wasn't an Airbnb, it was a privately rented house. I just assumed incorrectly that it was. Fourth update, 5 days later. I've only just broken up with him in the last 3 weeks. Alex and I have had no contact since the morning after the attack, and he's currently going through the legal process as a result of his actions. I gave my wedding dress and shoes to my best friend Millie to sell, donate, or just get rid of. She has lots of seller accounts on different platforms. As she buys and resells collectibles, she put my wedding dress, veil, shoes, and other accessories up for sale, hoping I could get some money back. Canceling the wedding meant I lost a lot of money anyway, so I was hoping to recoup a bit of that. Everything sold immediately at a great price, but when Millie looked at the buyer info, it turned out it was my ex's father's business account. We're assuming it's Alex who bought everything, not his father. Millie wanted to know what I wanted her to do with it. Should she pack it up and send it to him? Or do I want to confront him? I asked Millie if she could cancel the purchase, and she's checking that out. But even if that's possible, I don't want it to damage her seller rating online. I'm unsure why he would do this. I know he still wants us to get back together, but that's never going to happen. Should I just let the sale go through? I'm still considering whether I should just let the sale go through and ignore it, but it feels weird and upsetting. It feels like Alex is still torturing me in some way, and this feels like just another way to get my attention. I haven't had any interaction with him, and this situation is making me feel uneasy. Any advice is welcome. Edit. Alex knows Millie's selling accounts. He's bought stuff from her in the past. He's never seen the wedding dress or any of my other things, but we're assuming he knows it's my wedding clothes on Millie's account. Fifth update, 3 weeks later. I wish this update were better, but it's as close to closure as I can get, I think. Or at least I hope. Danny has really crashed. All her bravado and fight have disappeared, and she's seriously struggling. She's with her family and getting treatment, but she's cut everyone off, including me. I completely get it, and I'll respect whatever she wants. My therapist says it's probably for the best, as our healing journeys are not the same. and separating right now is not a bad thing. I hope we'll reconnect in the future though. I'll miss her a lot. I decided to speak to Marcus. It was an emotional conversation for both of us, but I got the answers I needed. That morning, after he told me everything and then spoke to the other two wives, he fully intended to come back to me afterward. However, two things happened. Jeb's wife was logging into their cloud to see if she could get pictures or evidence in case Jeb tried to delete anything, and Marcus was helping her. They called the police, and when they arrived, Marcus got caught up in everything. He left to go home and shower quickly, planning to come to my place afterward. But when he got home, the police were waiting to question him about the assault on Jeb and the other guy. They had already made statements to the police and admitted their assault on Danny. So Marcus gave a statement and was questioned further. By the time he left the police station, he knew Alex was back. Marcus had done some serious damage to both of those guys. He's basically a martial arts expert and even did boxing and MMA-style competitions in his teens. He didn't know if he would be charged or not at that point. He knew Alex was back because Daniel had told him, but at the time, he didn't think much of it. He says he wasn't afraid of Alex hurting me though, because I've been doing martial arts with my brother since we were kids. Our dad got us into it. Alex doesn't do anything like that. So Marcus knows I'd be able to defend myself. I had easily taken down a guy who tried to rob me last year. He admits he didn't really think about the emotional impact at that stage, but he was dealing with a lot, and he truly was. He didn't tell me any of this when we were texting in the early days though, when he was genuinely trying to be there for me. I forgave him for that morning because I was wrong. I didn't know then, but I do now. He also told me he's been dealing with a lot of guilt over Danny. Guilt for convincing her to stay, and some guilt toward me as well. He admits that if Danny and Daniel had left, he hadn't intended to go with them. He was really into the girl he met the night before. He now realizes that staying behind while they left would have basically condoned Alex's behavior. He says he didn't intend for that, but he really liked the girl. The girl didn't want any further contact with him after everything that happened, so I guess he got some karma there. He also dropped a bit of a bombshell on me. He says there are rumors that Alex is looking to strike a deal where he would plead guilty to lesser charges and get probation. It seems like he might actually get that, but it's still early days, so it will probably be several months before anything is confirmed. If it's true, he also mentioned that there are a lot of snippets of information about Alex floating around, and he thinks Daniel has never cut contact with him. In fact, he's pretty sure. He says there's no way some of this information could be known unless it came directly from Alex. Apparently, it's Daniel who's been dropping these snippets. Marcus told me he confronted Daniel, and although Daniel denied it, Marcus could tell from his reaction that he was lying. He believes Daniel is likely feeding information back to Alex as well, and he warned me to be cautious. He also told Danny's mother, and as a result, they've all cut contact with Daniel, so I did too. Now, I feel like I don't know who to trust. So, my old university friend reached out to me, and we talked. She got me an interview with a company she used to work for, and I've been doing virtual interviews this week. I just heard that I got the job. I start in 2 weeks, and it's in another European country, so I don't need visas or work permits. I'm going to crash on my friend's couch until I can find a place to live, and I'm leaving at the end of next week. I have to. I feel like collateral damage here, and I'm afraid I'll run into Alex. It feels like people are avoiding me. I just want to grieve the relationship and the betrayal, and I need space to do that. I've lost the future I had planned and the guy I loved. I miss looking forward to that, and I miss the guy I thought Alex was. All of this has been so hard. I've got a dilemma. I didn't sell the wedding dress because it wasn't Alex who was buying it. It was his father. He reached out to me, saying he was trying to help me recoup some of the money I lost by buying it. He then offered to cover all my financial losses from the wedding. I won't lie. I would like the money to help me start my new life. I spoke to the police, and I'm not really needed for the investigation. I don't know much firsthand, as it's all been secondhand information, and what I do know seems to change as more info comes in. The statement I gave about Alex getting home that morning is all they need, and while they can't say for certain, I doubt I would need to give evidence. So if I took the money, it wouldn't be seen as a bribe or hush money, and I'd be clear from that perspective. Morally, I don't know if it's right to take the money. It feels like dirty money, and I'm torn. The money would help a lot with getting a car and settling into my new country, but I'm not sure I could bring myself to accept it. The second thing is, he asked me to have one last conversation with Alex on the phone, if need be. He says Alex is desperate to talk to me. The money isn't contingent on me speaking to Alex, so I can say no and still get the money. This is really hard for me because part of me wants to tell Alex how much he's destroyed me. I want to know why he did what he did, and most of all, what went wrong in his brain to do what he did to Danny. But would it help? Would anything he says really make a difference? I don't think it would. I can't ever be with him again. I don't want contact with him, and nothing he says will make things better. So why am I still tempted to talk to him? A phone call seems easier than meeting in person, which would be way too hard. But even so, I feel torn. Please talk me out of this. Regardless of what happens, this is it for me. I'm hoping for a fresh start and to leave all this behind. I know I'll carry too much of it with me, but with some space, maybe I'll learn to breathe again, and the pain will eventually go away. The last 6 weeks have been hell. I just want to wake up from this nightmare. Wish me luck.